Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Bad? I didn't get the quiz yet.
That's why I said.
I'm going to give you the quiz at the end.
Made it worse.
Plus even exam. Come on. Did you guys see the snow today? I had today it snowed. I didn't see it. It snowed for 15 or 20 minutes, I heard. Me too, like I didn't see the snow. Okay, so exam. Your exam is this week, Friday. Learn what? Go watch the previous recordings. Go watch the previous recordings, previous lectures. Yes, review. Okay, so instead of telling you which question will be in the exam, guys, instead of telling you which question will be in the exam from the review sheet, I decided to tell you what type of question will be in the exam. So there will be at least 10 to 15 questions. And what type of questions? Something like this. One example with the definition of the derivative. You don't have to apply the definition, you just have to know the trick to connect the definition of the derivative with the derivative rules you already learned. There will be few graphing questions where the derivative doesn't exist. It's like the example 2 in the review sheet. I'll give you 1 or 2 graphs and you're going to identify where the derivative doesn't exist and why the derivative doesn't exist there. One question will be from the power rule. One question will be from the product rule. One question will be from the quotient rule. One question will be from the chain rule. One question will be from the implicit differentiation. So all 5 types of derivative, there will be at least one question from each type. Borrow from your neighbors. Go to Dimitri. He's not here.
He's not here.
Does anybody have any extra pen to lend to Johnny? See, nobody likes you for some reason. You bug everyone probably.
I got that.
You got it?
You were alive.
Okay, so there'll be one question from finding the equation of the tangent line. There'll be one question about where the tangent line is horizontal. And then there'll be 1 or 2 questions from the review sheet question number 10 to 13. So this is the list of questions you expect to see in this exam. Pedro. At least 11. At least.
11.
At least 11. No multiple choice. No. Even though there is no multiple choice, there will be more non-partial credit and less partial credit. No, I'm waiting for today's quiz.
Wait, did you grade the bonus question? The bonus.
In the exam?
So
In the exam?
no. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna grade them after the exam. Depending on how much you have in.
So like that point it goes to this exam.
Any exam.
Oh,
It will be addition to the exam. Ellen, question? Yeah, I decided to give no calculator. So all the questions will be easier to solve.
like,
But you have to know how to use calculator for calculator parts.
like, every other class, they can use calculator in class, so.
Because they have 2 parts in the exam. 2 parts in the exam. One is a calculator part, one is non-calculator part.
So, when the final, you use calculator.
That's why I keep telling you guys. You have to have a calculator.
You-
Because no one is bringing any calculator. I kept telling everyone. See?
Oh, I had one, it's at home, one.
So after this exam, no, not after this exam actually. After I finish our syllabus, before the final, my plan is to go over at least few classes with calculator questions. Okay? And you should bring your calculator at that time. Even though you didn't bring the entire semester, it's fine. But those times, those classes, I want all of you to bring your calculator, what you're going to use during the exam.
But like TI-85,
It's up to you, whatever you have.
it's hard to use.
I know. I like TI-84, but TI-89, they're easy to solve in TI-89. Okay, so instead of doing the review on Thursday, I decided to do the review today. Okay? And Thursday, I'm going to go over new materials, but that will not be in the exam.
When do you mean do later?
Later. Okay, so I would like to start with the questions I did not go over in class. For example, these type of questions. Question 10. What number I mentioned here? 10, yep. So most of the final exam, they give one questions from this type, 10, 11, 12, 13. So let's start with this. Question number 10. It is suppose g of x is a function with the information g of 1 is 4. And at the same time, g prime of 1 is 2. Now there is a new function f of x, which is x cubed times the g of x. They want us to find what is f prime at 1. Is the scenario clear? They gave us f function and they want us to find f prime of 1. What does prime mean? Derivative. So they're asking, hey, how much is the derivative when x value is 1? So before we even go for finding the f prime of 1, what do you have to find first? F of x is given.
Oh, the one.
Derivative. F prime of x. Once you know what is f prime of x, then you can substitute x with 1 and you get f prime of 1. Now, what type of function is this f of x? Which derivative rule is supposed to apply? Product. Good. You guys are smart. So we had 2 functions.
Oh, me.
One is x cubed and one is g of x.
Yes, so power 2.
So let's say f is x cubed and g means g of x. So f prime will be 3x squared and g prime will be? No, g prime. G is g of x. What is g prime? If g is g of x, what is g prime? It's easy, g prime of x. We don't care about what function g is. G prime means g prime of x. And that's actually the trickiest part in this question. If g is g of x, then g prime must be g prime of x. Okay? Now, using your product rule, what do we write for f prime of x? F prime g, g prime f, remember? So what do you write for the derivative? 3x square times g of x plus g prime of x cubed. If you know how to do this line, that means you're already very smart. Trust me. This is the hardest part in this question or this type of question. Figuring out what's the actual derivative. Now they are saying once you have your f prime, that means you can easily find out what is f prime at 1. So what do? We replace every x with 1. So 3 times 1 square times g of 1 plus g prime at 1 times 1 cube. That's why we needed to know what is f prime of x. If you know f prime of x, you can easily find out what is f prime of 1. And then it's basic algebra. What do? How do you simplify?
Alright, so 3
3
times 3
times what is g of 1?
b 4.
See, they told us g of 1
Oh,
is 4. They gave us this information.
4 plus 4.
No, what is g prime of 1?
What? Oh, 2.
2
So times 1.
times 1. So they gave us this information. All I need to do is put them in their proper places. So what do you get? 12 plus 2, which is 14. And for some reason, department loves this type of question. So in the last few final exams, they put one of these in the final exam. So you might see 1 or 2.
Wait, why is g prime x?
Why do you see g prime x? Here?
Yeah.
If g is g of x, what is g prime?
Oh, g prime.
G prime of x. We don't know what is g function. They didn't tell us. Why it doesn't matter? Derivative means prime. Now, since you know how to do this question, would you be able to do the next question by yourself? Pedro, you look confused.
Confused on how the g prime and 1 turn into 2 times 1.
Because the information they gave us. G of 1 is 4 and g prime of 1 is 2.
So,
Next one is actually much easier than the first one.
Wait, it's 1 to 215.
1 to 215.
Where?
Send me an email.
Send you.
Send me an email,
wait, so
and then I'll reply to that email.
this is F and this is
Where? Which one?
oh, this is F.
My Gmail. Put no. Jannah dot
Here.
at gmail.com.
F25 plus F
Mm-hmm.
This one.
F5.
No, this one is, I don't have this in my phone. So,
What just like imports it?
yeah. Mhm. Ready? No, okay.
Oh, yeah. Fix it. Like, let's 6 to X. Yeah, like after.
First you to find the derivative.
Huh?
First you to find the derivative.
I'm not sure. Like 6 to X, right? And I put that. Yeah. Yo.
Ready? Okay, so they told us we have f of x times g of x. Let's suppose this is a new function h of x. So they are saying what's the derivative of this function when x is 6? That means we have to find out the derivative of this function when x is there. So if h is f of x and g of x, what is f prime? What's the derivative of this function? F prime of x times g of x, f of x, g prime of x. Good. Now they are saying, what if all these x you see are actually 6? So f prime at 6 times g of 6 plus f of 6 times g prime at 6. Now, do we have all this information? What is f prime of 6? 3 times what is g of 6? 5 plus what is f of 6? 2. And what is g prime at 6? 3. So what do we get? 15 plus 6, which is 21. Okay, any question on this? No question from anyone? The next one is saying we have f of x, we have g of x in terms of f of x. So g of x is 1 over f of x. Now find G prime at 3. But 2 prime G prime at 3, what do you have to find first? So G prime of X. First, we need to know what is G prime of X. And then we are going to replace all the X in the prime with 3. So which rule you have to use here? Quotient rule. So either you can use quotient rule or you can use actually the power rule. Let me show you both. Quotient. If you use the quotient rule, you have to remember the quotient rule. What's the quotient rule? Who remembers quotient rule?
Minus B prime over B to the power two.
G to the power 2, G square. And what is F here? Which function? The numerator or denominator? The numerator indicates F, denominator indicates G. This is what it means. So if F is 1 and G is F of X, how much is F prime? 0. And what is G prime? F prime of X. So we are going to replace this information into the quotient rule. So F prime means 0 times G function, which is F of X, subtract G prime, what is F prime of X, times your F function, which is 1. So F prime G minus G prime F, whole thing divided by the G function square means F of X, whole thing square. Thank you. 0 times anything is 0. So the first term disappears. So G prime at 3 is negative F prime at 3 divided by F of 3 whole thing squared. So we have only negative of this and the denominator square. And then we see, do we have this information? Do we know what is F prime at 3? 5. Do we know what is F of 3? So we have 4 with the square. So what is our final answer? Negative 5 over 16.
That's it.
That's it. These are some interesting questions. You don't have to do much math. The first step is only calculus. The rest is algebra. And if you don't want to use the quotient rule, you can actually use the power rule. Your g of x will become f of x whole thing to the power -1. So g prime of x will be -1 f of x whole thing to the power -2. And then you have to multiply by the inside function f prime of x. So it's a chain rule. When you rewrite everything, you get -1 times f prime of x, and the negative becomes denominator, so f of x whole thing square. So this thing and this thing, they're the same here.
Okay, what was the S?
Quiz? It was -1/18.
Negative 1/8.
Mhm.
Got that. So,
But your equation of the line was wrong. Your equation of the line was wrong.
now what's the negative 1/8 x plus 1?
-1/18 was the slope, and the equation I don't know. I have to do the math.
2/8.
One more question. I think we're going to go over that question today. One more question. Similar type, but it is different derivative rule. They are saying f of x is g square of x. But what does that mean? It means your g of x and you're squaring the entire thing. This is what g square of x mean. It's not g squared times x, it's g of x whole thing square. So in other words, f of x is g of x square. And they want you to find what is f prime at 3.
We have we're not like that won't be able to be.
So before finding f prime at 3, what do you have to find first? F prime of x. So which derivative rule you have to use here? Product, quotient, power, chain rule.
Chain rule? Oh wait.
Because you have a function inside another function.
Oh.
Your outer function is a square function, inner function is a g function.
Oh, you don't change it inside.
So first you apply the power rule. If you apply the power rule, what's the derivative you get? 2 comes down, and then 2 minus 1, which is 1. That's the outer function.
Wait, you got it.
Huh?
You got it.
When you do the outer part, when you do the outer part, you have to leave the inner part alone. Derivative is very weak. It cannot do 2 derivatives at the same time. So it changes the outer part. This is 1, not prime. It changes the outer part, so the inner part has to stay same. And then you multiply by the derivative of the inner part. So what's the derivative of g of x? G prime of x. So this is the hardest part, figuring out the derivative. Once you have the derivative, the next is easy. All you have to do is replace all the x you see with the number they gave you. So 2 times g of 3 times g prime at 3.
How you got the
Chain rule. It is a derivative of the power first, and then you multiply by the derivative of the inner function. So 2 times, do we know what is g of 3? 2. So 2 times 2. And do you know what is g prime at 3? 3. So basically we have 2 times 2 times 3. The answer is 12. And that's how we Find them. So expect to see at least 1 to 2 of these in the exam.
So you just made the out.
To the derivative of the inner function. So you
Oh,
multiply by the derivative of the inner function. So first, you don't change the inside. You only change the power. To apply the power rule, leave the inside function same. And then multiply by the derivative of the inside function. That's why it's called chain. So it's like chain. One thing goes to the other thing. Okay. There was one question about perpendicular slope. Or the next one. So let's do this one first. We have f of x as 4x squared minus 4x plus 4. For what value of x does the tangent line have a slope of 44? So the information they gave us is slope of the tangent line is 44, right? What is slope of the tangent line? What does that mean? Derivative. So in other words, they're telling us that, hey, the derivative of this function is 44. Now they're asking for what x value has this derivative 44? So any idea?
so
They're telling us derivative is 44. So what do we need now?
high-end.
No, they're telling us the derivative is 44. They're asking for which x value will have derivative 44. What x's? So what you're going to do with the equation? They gave us f of x,
Oh,
but what is given here?
that's fine with it.
So, Sayom, they give us f of x, so we need to know what is f of x. We know f of x is 44, but what is f of x? That's the first thing. What is f of x? So f of x, if this is our f, what is f of x? 8x minus 4. And we know this derivative is 44. The hardest part is figuring out how to start, but once you know how to start, now this is just an algebra. Not in this exam, but in the final exam, probably they will give you some decimal numbers and they want you to work with the decimal numbers. So this one is easy. We add 4 to both sides. So we get 8x equals 48. How do you get 5?
Said it's not 5. Said it's not 5.
Why did I say it's not
Not
0? Why didn't you say it's not 1? It's not 2. Why did you say it's not 5?
I thought that was a clue. Yeah, I buy that.
Okay, see? So every question here is actually not so hard. It's just a little bit tricky. Like the next example. They gave us f of x function, g of x function. And they are saying that for what value of x does the tangent line of f and g are perpendicular? Means if one tangent line is going upward, another tangent line will go downward, and the intersection will create a 90-degree angle. So you have to go back to the very first chapter, chapter 1. When two lines are perpendicular? How do you know when two lines are perpendicular?
That's
The slope, what happens to the slope? Negative reciprocal. So let's say tangent line 1 has slope m, then what will be the slope for tangent line 2? Negative 1 over m. So it's a negative reciprocal. Sign changes, fraction flips. Now, they did not give us the equation for the tangent line, right? But they did not tell us the x value. We are going to find the x value. So from this scenario, what information we can use? We need one more information. Okay, let's say, what is tangent line? Or, yeah, how do you find the tangent line? What do you need? Slope. And how do you find the slope? Derivative. So let's say f gives us slope 1 and g gives us slope 2. So slope of tangent line 1 is derivative of the x. And slope of tangent line 2 is derivative of the g function. But remember, derivative gives us a formula, not a number. But let's try to, no problem instead. We are given f of x is negative 5x squared plus 2x minus 3. And we are given g of x is 2x minus 1. So what is f prime? What is f prime? And what is g prime? Only 2. Now, how can you use this information to figure out whether they're perpendicular or not? How do you use this information to figure out whether these two are perpendicular or not? We found the slope, but we need a number. But to find the number, we need the x value. But they did not give us the x value. And what does we have two original functions, f and g. You plug in what? The derivative into the original one. You're making your life harder. Thinking something easier. There are two ways of doing it, I think. The certain rule comes from here. But these are not number, right? So let's see if we flip what happens. Okay. So in order to be perpendicular, f prime perpendicular g prime, we need negative 10x plus 2 has to be negative of 1/2. So whatever we have here, the sign will change and the number will flip, right? Let's see if it works. I'm not sure whether it's going to work or not. Let's see. If we go this way, then we need to multiply both sides by 2. To get here the denominator. So we get negative 20x plus 4 equals negative 1. And solving for x is easy. Negative 4, we get negative 20x equals negative 5 divided by negative 20, x is 1/5. I'm not sure about the answer, okay? Now, f prime is perpendicular to the g prime. This is the perpendicular symbol. So if they're perpendicular, that means one of them has to be negative reciprocal of the other one. So if F prime is this, and this is G prime, so G prime has to change its sign, and it has to flip. So changing the sign and flipping that, it becomes 1/2. So when you solve for x, we don't need the denominator. So multiply both sides by 2. The 2 cancel out, you get negative 20 plus 4 equals -1. So let me check whether it's correct or not. The formal method is actually comes from here. If you multiply these two, m times -1/m, what's the product? What is m times -1/m? M cancel out, the answer is -1. So two lines are perpendicular if their products, if their slope, product of their slope is -1. That's the rule. The product of their slope has to be -1. So if you use that concept, let's see what do you get. M times -1/m has to be -1. So we have slope of this line is -10x plus 2. And if you multiply this by this number, the result has to be -1. And they are same actually. Yeah. So we get -20x plus 4 equals -1, which is the exact same thing as this one. Yeah, the answer is negative. The answer is 1/5. Method 2. And this is method 1. Or does it look like 10? Sorry. I was doing it mentally, so 20. And this is 20. So we get, not 1/5, sorry, 1/4. Why did I do 1/5? 5 goes to 24 times. The answer is 1/4. So which method do you want to get clear on? The first method or the second method?
Which one is easier?
Second method.
Second? So
The second method says two slopes are perpendicular if their product is -1.
don't get it.
Two slopes are perpendicular if their product is -1.
Oh,
So if you multiply them, the result has to be -1.
so like,
So this is slope number 1, this is slope number 2. If you multiply them, the result has to be -1. So multiply slope number 1, slope number 2, the result has to be -1. Now which x makes the result -1? Solve for x.
so you got solve for that.
Mhm.
So what's the answer for that?
Same as this one.
Negative 1/4.
Positive 1/4.
1/4.
Mhm.
Wait, so you multiply f times x times b times x?
Mhm.
Oh,
Product of two perpendicular slope is -1.
and how do you know it's negative?
Because that's the rule.
Oh, that's,
If you want to
oh,
have perpendicular slope, their product has to give you -1. If it doesn't give you -1, they are not perpendicular.
oh,
So one of these two methods. It doesn't matter which one you pick.
yeah, like,
I don't have another question.
oh,
Huh?
oh,
What?
we need another question.
Today I don't have any.
Oh,
So let's move on to the next one.
so fresh in my head.
Do the homework. I think homework has question like this, I think.
Oh, we're passing.
on my method.
Now we're procrastinating.
Hmm?
We're procrastinating.
Why?
It's like you keep on telling me to play mobile.
Why are you listening to him then?
Because he's like,
See?
let's play this one first.
Okay, the next concept is horizontal tangent line. Do you remember anytime you see horizontal tangent line, what are you supposed to do?
Oh yeah.
How do you know where your where your tangent line is horizontal?
It's one. Wait, zero, zero, zero.
0. Horizontal tangent line means automatically its slope is 0. So where this function has a slope 0. So slope of this function. How do you find the slope of this function? Derivative. We want the derivative to be 0. This is what they are looking for. For which x value, the derivative is 0. So how do you find the derivative of this function?
Uh,
6x to the
oh,
5
4x, I'll do.
to the power 3. So you take the derivative, set the derivative equals to 0, and you solve for x. For calculator part, they're going to give you harder math to do. For non-calculator, they'll give you easier one to do.
How you solve for zero?
What do you see in both of them? 0. No, you have 6x to the 5 and 4x to the cube.
Oh. This is the most harder proof.
You only took the derivative. You're solving for x.
Oh.
It's algebra now. No more calculus. Do you have any lecture?
Oh, wait, you factor, you factor.
Factor. So what's the common factor?
Okay.
X to the power
So
3.
2x. Oh wait, no, x around.
You can just keep the x to the power 3. You don't need the other one. So you're left to a 6x squared minus 4, right? Equals 0. And then how do you solve algebra?
Divide 6x to the power 2 minus.
You take both of them, set them equals to 0 individually. You can never divide by a variable. If you do, you're going to lose the solution. So that tells us x is 0. So this is one solution. You add 4 to both sides. You get 6, x squared is 4. It divide by 6. That tells you x squared is 4 over 6. And then how do you solve for x? The root. The x is 2 over square root of 6. Am I missing anything?
Oh, I can make square root with 4 2.
Square root of 4 is 2.
No, I can make like
Square root of 6 in the denominator. Well, for calculator question, you just can
wait,
use the calculator to find out how much is that. But something is missing.
we can make this.
What is this?
Square root 4 over 6.
But then you have to reduce, or at least get that decimal using calculator.
Oh,
But something is missing except for the thingy, square root. What is missing here?
y x.
No one can tell what is missing here. You solve for x, but something is missing in your solution. What is missing?
Q.
Okay. X squared is 9. What is x? Only 3.
Oh, positive or negative?
See?
Plus minus.
If you don't do plus minus, you're going to lose another solution. So basically, you're going to get 0. You lost one solution because of that, and one solution because you forgot plus minus symbol.
So like every time you square root something, you gotta put plus.
Every square root of a variable has two choices. Something unknown, if you take the square root, you get two choices. The two solutions here, one solution here. Total, you have three solutions. So there are three places where you have horizontal tangent line.
So that's it.
This is what it means. That's it.
We don't write it out like certain.
It says for which values of x the tangent line is horizontal. So take the derivative, set it equals to 0, solve for x. That's all you have to do. Depending on what type of function you have, you take the derivative different way.
Yeah.
Okay, one implicit differentiation. Huh? Plus minus 2 square root of 6. Okay, so what I didn't cover, equation of the tangent line, we are going to do that. Slope, derivative. Okay. So, these two didn't cover. Okay, let's do this two real quick. Question number 2, where the derivative doesn't exist in the graph. There are 4 places, right? Where derivative doesn't exist? In a graph where the derivative doesn't exist. Sharp corner. Corner. What is another space, another place? Gaps means either jump or no, jump is another place, sorry. Gap, oh, gap means hole. This is hole, open circle. And then we have jump, and there is 4th one. Vertical asymptote means where the graph breaks into pieces. These are the 4 places derivative doesn't exist. So based on that, where derivative doesn't exist in this function, on which x value?
What's the vertical asymptote?
Vertical asymptote is like a place where the graph breaks into pieces. For example, see these 2 places the graph breaks down. So these are the vertical asymptotes. So where this graph doesn't exist, sorry, derivative doesn't exist. Which point? Which x value? 1. Why at 1? That's a sharp corner. See here? 1. So we are going to write x equals 1 because sharp corner. And then the next, where else the graph doesn't exist, derivative doesn't exist?
6, 5.
1, 2, and what is happening at 3? There is a gap.
Oh wait,
This is a gap or
Oh,
hole.
Oh,
So it's a gap or hole. And this is a sharp corner. And then this is 3. It looks like 5. This is 3. And then where else it doesn't exist? At
5.
5. And why at 5?
Oh.
Jump. So in the example, I'm going to indicate x equals here because of this reason. X equals there because of this reason. Hmm? Okay. The first one says evaluate this limit. So there are two ways of doing it. I showed the longer method before, and I'm going to show you the shorter method now. What is this? This is derivative at x is limit x goes to, not x, sorry, h goes to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. So this thing you see is the derivative of the function at x. Now all you have to do is remember this limit, remember this definition, and connect the definition with the thing you have. So based on this information, what is it f of x? Here, what is it f of x? F of x is 5x squared. In other words, they're asking, hey, what's the derivative of 5x squared? So if f of x is 5x squared, what's the derivative? 10x. That's it. That's all you have to do. Limit h is going towards 0.
Wait, is f of x not negative?
No, the negative is the definition, inside the definition. So f of x is whatever you have after the definition, after the negative in the definition. If definition says f of x plus h minus f of x. So whatever you're subtracting, that thing is f of x. The minus symbol is in the definition, not with the f of x. It's a definition. So basically, that's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do.
We find f of x at
Figure out what is f of x, and then find your f prime.
oh, that's easy.
Exactly. Now let me give you another one here. Example. Limit h is going to 0. Let's say f of
Whoa.
3 plus h minus f of 3. No, not that. 3 plus h to the 5 minus 3 to the 5 divided by h. So they're saying, hey, evaluate 3 plus h to the 5 minus 3 to the 5. How do you connect this with the definition? From this definition, what is it f of x? 3 to the 5 is not a function, it's a number. What is your function? William, what did you say? X to the 5. So they gave us 3 to the 5, but it's a number. So you have to connect that with your function. 3 to the 5 turns into x to the 5. So what's the derivative of x to the 5? 5x to the 4. And why they give us these 3? What is it x? X is 3. So basically they are saying, hey, what is the derivative at 3? So it's 5 times 3 to the 4. That's it. That's all you have to do. Derivative. What's the derivative next to the 5? 5 comes down, and 5 minus 1. Of the derivative.
Wait, why is the f of x not equal to our function?
Because 3 to the 5 is not a function, it's a number.
But why for the other ones, f of x is 5?
Because they have a x here. Do you see the X? X means it's a function.
Oh,
Number means it's just a number. Okay, so I have to postpone the quiz. Instead, let me just go over one more question. So that's all you have to do. And these are final lesson questions. So one of these, and then you know the product rule, you know the quotient rule, you know the chain rule. Let's go over the chain rule, one of the chain rule. I mean, no, not this one.
you like post all actually credits on the status.
I'll see.
So like 11 questions and like 5 actually credit for.
We don't have time.
You do?
It's 1 hour, 15 minutes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I can post so many questions, no problem. But your time limit is 1 hour, 15 minutes.
11 questions. We can finish that in like 40 minutes.
Okay, one question with implicit differentiation and tangent line. So we did horizontal tangent line, and now you're doing finding the equation of the tangent line.
What's DYD?
So
What? Oh, DYDX is the
the right page, guys. Finding the equation of the tangent line for this question. So we have 2x cubed. We need to find the derivative. So what's the derivative of 2x cubed? 6x squared. Good. And now what do you see? We have which rule to use? Product rule. So f is x squared, g is y squared. What is f prime? 2x. What is g prime? 2y, y prime. You're missing your y prime. So you have 2x times y squared plus your y squared. So in y squared, your x squared, which is f function, times your g prime, which is 2y, y prime. So f prime g, f times g prime. Plus, what's the derivative of 4y cubed? 12y squared y prime. And what's the derivative of 2? 0. We have to distribute the negative. So we get 6x squared minus 2xy squared minus 2x squared y prime, and then 12y squared y prime equals 0. These two doesn't have any y prime, so we need to get rid of them. So 2xy squared, 2xy squared. They cancel out. And here, they have the y prime. So we are going to pull it out as a common factor. We get y prime. We left with here, negative 2x squared y. And from here, positive 12y squared. Equals negative 6x squared plus 2x y squared. So our y prime, we need to divide both sides by this thing. So when we write on the next page. Our y prime turn into negative 6x squared plus 2xy squared. Guys, shh. Divided by negative 2x squared y plus 12y squared. Now here, they already gave us both x and y. We didn't have to find any one of them. X is 2, y is 1. So you replace negative 6, 2 squared is 4, 2 times 2, y squared is 1. Negative 2, 2 squared is 4, y is 1, plus 12 times 1. So negative 24, positive 4, negative 8, positive 12.
That's good. Wait,
Negative 20 over 4. So 5. That's the slope. Negative 5. So our equation of the line is y minus, let me gonna it here.
oh, we didn't do that.
Y minus y1 slope x minus x1.
So all that is.
So y minus y1 is 1. Slope is negative 5. X minus or x1 is 2. From here, solve for y. That's the equation of that tangent line. Equation of tangent line. So I already told you what will be in the exam. One equation of the tangent line. One question with where the tangent line is horizontal, means derivative is 0, solve for x. And all 5 derivative rules. The first question, second question, and from 10 to 13, one of them. At least one, probably if I have space, then 2.
So if they ask you for you the tangent line, you gotta give the
Y equals
mx plus b form.
y equals mx plus b.
Or can I leave it in that form?
Mostly finalizing with the multiple choice, and they have the answer in y equals mx plus b format.
Okay.
So here, once again, study this
Yo,
very
wait.
well. Who's from tomorrow? Not tomorrow. Thursday, yeah.
Hey, no.
Actually, no. I'm gonna give you quiz grade based on your exam. So in the exam, if you do the
No,
implicit
not
question,
fair. Not fair.
no, in the exam, if you do the implicit question correctly, they're going to get you quiz grade.
Now let's do it right now. No. Now we have class at 4. No, 4:10. We got time. No, you don't. You can stay in the library.
Or would you like to take the quiz next class?
No, right now.
So yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you this question in the exam. The one we just did. Okay. And this was the question you had in a quiz.
Yo,
So if you get this correct, your quiz grade, you get the full points.
this question was way harder than this. This is way easier.
It's already because you already did few of them. That's why it
Yeah.
sounds easier.
I think the quiz was a bracket, that's the.
Yeah, and it has like more Y prime. I think it has 3 Y prime, and this only have 1.
2 Y prime.
Oh, yeah, the quiz had 3. So I was.
It is how many Y prime you have, Johnny?
Wait. I got a question. Wait. Alright, so negative Y to the power 2, right?
Negative and then Y square.
Why? Why is it outside the parentheses? Why is it
Maybe
not
it's
inside?
negative times Y square.
Oh, alright.
No, we have time.
Did you work with like later, like present?
I didn't take the attendance, but I can take a field pick. I remember who was here.
Also,
Today is 11/11.
I also came late.
I noticed that.
Yeah. Did you work?
Dominica, Salaudin, Arsla was late, almost absent. Maxine here, Zoe here, Jolene was here, Prince was here, Hayden, Ellen, Asir was absent, Kylie was here, Ellis absent, Jasmine was here, Alexandra here, Jennifer here, Jessie here, Johnny here, Afiz absent, Tarin here, Pedro here, Erika, Jawad, Ruby, Sayom, Dimitri absent, Siki here, Amir absent, William here. See, I remember everyone.